Hey everybody, Teddy Joe on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. Wow. There is a lot. There's a lot going on, and I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it. So crypto took a nosedive today. Not much if you zoom out. If you look at the chart and you zoom out a little bit, you realize it didn't take a nosedive. It's a little dip. So the poll question today is, were you able to take advantage of the dip? And if you did, drop a note, let us know what you got. My man Hutanic, he got into, let's scroll up and see if I can catch it. He got into XLM, USDC, AVAX. Those are all really good ones to get involved in. Spend Cookie said she snatched up some more Link. So did I. There are a lot of things that we should be paying attention to. I'm just saying hello to everybody over on Lisa Lynn. Wow. Thank you so much for showing up. Greatly appreciate it. Love you. Lisa Lynn and I go back like high school. So yeah, she's practically family, so that's how we roll. Dan, my man is on. Papo is on. Juna Aguilar is on. We've got Spend Cookie Perspicacious, also goes by Hutanic. Go look up that word. I've been meaning to tell him, go look up that word, perspicacious. It's a great word. It's not used in everyday language, I can tell you that. Anyway, so you had Bitcoin take a dive today, and why did it take a dive? If you have to ask that question, I need you to take a deep breath, because what I'm going to say is going to sound obnoxious. You should already know. It's because tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow we get the FOMC meeting, and pretty much everybody knows that, yeah, the rates are not going to get cut. As much as everybody is crying to cut the rates, I don't think the rates are going to get cut. If they do get cut, I will tell you now, it is way too premature. If there's such a thing as too premature, that would be it. That would absolutely be it. I mean, you're looking at a market right now where commercial real estate is about to take a hit, right? You have the banking institutions out there, especially regional banks, that have over $500 billion right now, $517 billion. Mind you, this has been reported by the FDIC. $517 billion, in unrealized losses. So they're prepared for more than a few banks to take it on the chin. Good evening, Victor. What's up? So you have more than just a little bit of things that are going on that are creating downward pressure on Bitcoin. Okay, there's a lot more. So you should be paying attention to those things. And I'm hoping and praying that you had a little bit on the side for opportunities like this. Now, we've been hit with this kind of opportunity twice in the past 2 weeks. Today is the third, right? If you had dry powder on the side, take the poll. Let me know, what did you do and what did you get? A lot of people are saying 3 out of 4 people, or actually 4 out of 5 people are saying that they were able to take advantage of the dip. I was able to take advantage of the dip. Here's what I got. And I told you guys yesterday what my list was going to be comprised of and how I have to whittle down that list. It wound up being me snatching up some Notcoin, a nice bag, a nice addition to the bag of Notcoin. What else did we snatch up? Got a little bit of Chainlink, because Chainlink is going to make moves. And I snatched up a nice percentage of Pepe. A nice little taste of Pepe. Why is that? Because that was the one that I didn't get. And I feel that it's going to do something. I feel like Pepe, when everything comes back, I feel that Pepe is actually going to make a move. So if you weren't paying attention, that's what's kicking the markets in the butt right now. That's what's happening today. What else went on? Well, balances on centralized exchanges for both Bitcoin and, hey Bianca, Bitcoin and Ethereum took it on the chin today. Just a few days ago, it was 3 years. It had hit a 3-year low. Today, it's at a 4-year low. That's not small. Elix, what's up? On Monday, NVIDIA split. Yep, that's right. What was it? A 10 for 1? A 10 for 1 split. So I'm not playing around with NVIDIA. I'm just not. I'm just really not. It's not that it's too expensive. It's that NVIDIA is the leader, and it has more upward momentum that it's going to realize. I just think that it might be a tad overvalued, right? They've got the lead. They're going to have the lead for a while. Intel had the lead for a while too. And there came AMD. Just saying. VWDCS, what's up? Melco 5, what's up? So there's a lot going on in that space. A lot. All right. So I'm paying attention to what's going on in the AI space because it is going to affect mining, right? I keep looking down because I'm paying attention to, how it's going over there on streaming and everything else. So I just want to make sure that we have enough bandwidth and all that good stuff. We do have the bandwidth, but I think the software that I'm using, it's coming. I thought it was my machine, but I diagnosed my machine. My machine is old. It's 5 years old, but my machine is fine. I think it's actually the software that I'm using. I might have to upgrade the software. Now, I shouldn't have to, but I probably will. Yes, quick coins in and out. So when I purchased today, I had a couple of things in my mind. Pepe is a trading coin that went into my trading bucket. Okay. That's over there. I'm not playing around with Linux. I don't have that kind of time. Not coin. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people call it a meme coin. And I'm like, how do you call it a meme coin when it's being used inside games? It's got a real use case. It's actually being used. It's not like Pepe where it's just got a name. A name. Are you serious? I'm buying it because I know it's going to go up again. It took a huge dive. All of the meme coins took a huge dive today. So today was a great day to get in. After the show, I might still get into a couple more. But the idea is that they will go up again. They haven't they haven't, done anything to make you go, it's not going to move. No, they're going to move again. We're not in altcoin season. We're just not. Bitcoin hasn't gotten us there yet. Right after Bitcoin makes its run, that's when altcoin season is going to happen. And that's when you start to walk into fall and crypto winter. Still, we're going to establish higher highs and higher lows. That's what's up. What else happened in the news that you should be paying attention to? Excuse me. I normally mute. Sorry about that. So the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK is warning against digital asset nest. All right. Apparently they're out there pitching coins that they shouldn't be pitching. I bring that up because it's a global problem. There are a lot of international problems that I'm bringing up tonight. OKX is seeing massive outflows, like 633 million in outflows because they think there are potential hacker intrusions. That's no joke. Punanimous me, welcome to the party. I told you you'd be able to do both at the same time. Look at you, my little multitasker. So, what else is going on? Not only do you have those things, and we'll get back to the general conversation, but I need you to be aware of these particular things. You've got Lido that's actually come out, partnered with, Mellow Finance and Symbiotic. This is not the first time that I've mentioned Symbiotic. Not the first time. Go back to previous videos. I've mentioned them before. They provide some serious services, right? Like cold storage, that kind of stuff. So they've partnered with them to offer restaking services. And the reason why is because restaking, so you have staking and restaking. And it means exactly what you think it would mean. So restaking services, Lido's like, hey, we better get on top of that, or we're going to lose our lead in the DeFi space, which is true. So they partnered with these two companies, these two partners, to come together and get a little something. Sleaze, welcome back. I see you. Waffles, are you new? I don't remember that name before. So Waffles, welcome. So I'm looking at a few things and I'm sitting back and I'm saying, yeah, there's some things we need to pay attention to. Restaking is a place that we need to pay attention to. If you're staking your money, right? You're staking your assets. Those assets get combined and then they get restaked. And so they're servicing those restaking organizations with these new tools. Very smart move. What is it? Is it Penner Dunlop? Please let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hate mispronouncing people's names. I greatly apologize. What else do we have? So Polygon Labs has started a $23 million grant program. I told you guys before, thank you, Penner. That fund is meant, give me the loot, what's up? So that fund is meant to grow Polygon. Now, I want you to take a step back, and I've been telling you guys for a while, Polygon's been making moves all about the infrastructure. If you look at this move, it is a very strategic move for their infrastructure. Let's build more on Polygon. But this time around, I think they're paying attention to what they want built on Polygon, as in not just games, but meaningful dApps. That's where they're headed. So we should kind of be making note of things like this, right? I was speaking with somebody earlier today, and she's really good at digging in on things. She's really good at that. But she needs a little bit of help at connecting all of the dots that she gathers, because she gathers so many dots that it's really hard to connect them all. Because sometimes you're thinking of connecting the dots on a single plane. She doesn't realize that all of the information that she's gathering for herself, all of that research that she's doing, it doesn't exist on a single plane. It's three-dimensional. So connecting the dots in the three-dimensional space is a little bit different. So I hope you heard me, because I know you're listening. I hope you heard me, because that's exactly what your problem is. That's a great problem to have, by the way. It's a great problem to have. Dead serious, right? So there are a few things that we're paying attention to. Something else that I like. A Moody's economist came out. Now I'm going to read you what my notes say. Moody's economist urges the U.S. Fed to cut rates. I would like to smack that economist right in the back of the head. Right in the back of the head. You know, that little sweet spot right there, that all you got to do is tap it and the person gets knocked out. That's the one I want. Not hard enough to make you cry, but hard enough so that you know you've been smacked in the back of the head. Because that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing to want. Here's why. You have a massive amount of layoffs that are happening, right? Exactly, Dan, exactly. You have a massive amount of layoffs that are still going on. Microsoft announced, Google announced. You have a few companies out there, Tesla announced. You have a lot of companies out there that have announced massive layoffs. Now, there's not just that. I explained to you the other day how there's a problem with some regional banks. So in addition to the $517 billion of unrealized losses, you also have issues within the banks. Ouch. That's a problem. Then on top of that, you've got a commercial real estate problem. That's a bigger issue than what people think. So lowering the rates would make our economy that's already piping hot, hotter. But remember that the heat that we have right now is not good heat. It's excess heat. Meaning we've added to it inflation. Lower the rates, inflation is going to go through the roof. And what comes with inflation? Greedflation comes with inflation. So now that you've got greedflation going on and you've got inflation going on, how do you fight that? You don't. That's the problem. That's why if Powell's smart, which I think he is, I actually like how he thinks. He's going to say, yeah, we have some information, but it's going in both ways. We're not going to move right now. We're going to stay the course. That would be the smartest thing he could do, is just stay the course. Don't go up, don't go down, just let it ride. That would be the smartest thing. A couple of months ago, Jamie Dimon said that he thought that Powell should not lower the rates before June. He thought that really he shouldn't lower the rates until later in the year. I still expect that there will be no rate change for the rest of the year. I honestly think that. Because I think when the data starts coming through, you're going to start to see, those bubbles start to get smaller, and you'll start to see how the economy is really going, the actual undercurrent of our economy. So that's what I'm expecting. Amankwa, how are you? What is it? Amankwa Lifestyle? That's a nice name. Like that. Hopefully I pronounced it properly. Zegan, dude, how are you? Wondering if you're going to hop on. Because you seem to catch like all of my videos on Instagram, so I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. You're exactly right. Give me the loot. I just don't see how you're going to lower the rates. I just don't see it. Greedflation is causing such a problem in the country. When you have companies that are talking about, oh, we made a lot of money. Yes, you made a lot of money, not from inflation. Because if you were experiencing inflation, you'd be flat. You'd still be in the profits, but your profit would be flat compared to the previous year or previous quarters, right? But they're not flat. They're not flat. And that's the problem. That really is a big problem. So until we solve that, we're going to continue to have that problem. Dead serious. I am now a GMB crypto savage. Oh my God. Carbon metals. You are, because you were just over there and now you're over here. You are a savage. Dead straight up. I appreciate you. Thank you. There's a lot more going on the YouTube side than on the Instagram side, just because Instagram is really hard to work with. I do love your stuff. Bank in big trouble. Yes. And thank you. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. What else is in the news? Europol. It's news, but it's not news. And I'll read you my notes. Europol warns of the potential misuse of crypto mining and layer 2 blockchain solutions by criminals. Let me take this in. Let me just, okay. The reason why I say that is because anything that's out there that can be leveraged by the good and the bad is going to be leveraged. Okay? When you look at, criminals leveraging, things like crypto, blockchain, paying each other in crypto, leveraging blockchain to go over their books and everything else, because nobody's going to know what those books are. They're not going to know what it represents. I mean, all jokes aside, but seriously, you're going to see drug dealers freaking tokenize assets. Like, for real. They're absolutely going to tokenize assets. They're assets. No matter what you might think, dealers and others, they are business people. They're just business people in the wrong lines of business. And some of them are brilliant. Dead serious. When you think about what they're able to do, it's brilliant. Is it for the better of mankind? Not necessarily. But still, what they're doing is brilliant. When you look at the banking system, you look at Lehman Brothers. Remember that? You remember that? 2008? You remember that? Yeah, you remember that. Everything that they did was legal. It's only illegal when somebody doesn't like it and Congress calls you in and they whine about it and then they decide they're going to bring charges. That's when it's illegal. But truth is that a lot of that stuff, and I actually know somebody that was involved in that, like firsthand. Like his son, my son used to play football together. That level of, yo, what's up, dude? Whose house we going to after the game? Like that. Nothing illegal. When you really stopped and think about it and thought about it, nothing really illegal was done. Because nobody realized that it could be done. So the idea of nefarious people leveraging good things the way they leverage banks. So I gave a story a couple of weeks ago about how TD Bank was going to be in trouble. And the fact is, they were in big trouble. Hello, Huskers. Hello, Jared Chamberlain. The problem with that is, yo, what's up, What's up, dude? You in front of Congress? No, stop it. Don't wish that upon me. TD Bank is in trouble because of their know your customer and anti-money laundering practices. Why is that? The news article that was done that I was included in for the Canadian Broadcasting Channel, CBC News. I said they were in trouble because, and they brought it out and they said, well, because there was a truck that went to different banks with different people, walked in with cash, making deposits and then transferring the money. And they were all able to do it. All able to do it. Not a problem. Boom. Taken care of. Why is that? They weren't paying attention. And this is from the bank branch all the way up to the executives. They weren't paying attention. So we're talking about a $2 billion bill, right? That's an old school thing. Money laundering, opening up bank accounts in a bank. Excuse me, very old school. Very old school. There's nothing new to that. Nothing new at all. Been doing it forever, right? Get a couple of people just to look the other way. Oh, I made a mistake. Not going to get in trouble. Whatever. Keep their jobs. From this level down, that whole string, they should all lose their jobs. Because how did it go through your systems? And your systems didn't catch it. People, I mean, they in a day, in a single day, they followed this truck, and those people were able to launder $2.8 million one day. And it wasn't just TD Bank. The only reason why they were talking about TD Bank is because it was a Canadian broadcasting company, and obviously they're in Canada. So that's why they were talking about TD, because TD is a Canadian-based bank. So flip over to crypto and you go, oh my God, they're using crypto for illegal things. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Not to mention that the percentage of nefarious things that happen around the world, the percentage that is represented by crypto is about this much compared to this much. We've got to get people to stop wagging their fingers at things just because they're new. There are practices that can be put in place that can actually help us catch things like that. They just need to pay attention. They really do need to pay attention. Everybody on Instagram, I need you to do me a favor. Flip over to YouTube and subscribe and join in on this poll. Poll is obviously grow my back. Instabobble, how you doing? Were you able to buy on the dip? So far, we've got 10 votes. Yeah, it just dropped. It just dropped. I've got like nothing running on this machine except for what we're doing here. And yeah, fix my video, which is on both YouTube and IG. I know that one. It actually, the whole thing just went out, just dropped. There's certain things I can control, and there's certain things I can't. I don't think it's just one problem. I think it's several problems. So I've identified one, which is I need a new machine. Identified another where maybe I have too many things running at the same time, but it wasn't that. I've got more than enough bandwidth, and I have a bandwidth monitor on another machine that I'm looking at. That other machine says, yeah, my bandwidth is barely being touched. Barely being touched. So yeah, that's a no bueno. That's a serious no bueno. Yeah, I caught that, Carbon. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. So when you're looking at everything that's out there, everything that happens. Yeah, YouTube has commercials. I can't stop that. I absolutely cannot stop that. Once you hit a certain level, I mean, even before you hit that certain level, they're running commercials anyway. That's how they make money. And thankfully, they share it with me a little bit. No, it's the firewall. I checked it. I wish it was the firewall. That would have been a click, click. It's not the firewall. It's not the WAN port. I wish it was. I'm not getting any drops or anything else like that. And I've been running diagnostics from my provider. So like from my provider to here, from here back out to my provider, been running diagnostics like that. No drops. So at some place within the network, but I don't think it's the network. I'm really beginning to think it's the software that I'm using. So got to pay attention to that. I might have to see if there's some kind of other software that'll help me to be able to do that and stream more efficiently. Because this software actually does take up a lot of resources, and it shouldn't. LAN to WAN rules, dude. No, I'm telling you, I'm not the best at that. I had one of my guys do it. I'm not good at that. I used to be. I'm not good at that anymore. I mean, I used to crimp cables and stuff. I don't do that crap anymore. So back to the whole idea of, Europol saying, hey, they're using, Bitcoin or blockchain for nefarious reasons. Yeah, they use everything. They use everything. So how are you going to wag your finger at one thing? Just saying. Something else that happened. Binance Labs invests in Zirkit. Zirkit, a zero-knowledge rollup network that uses AI-enabled sequencer-level security. They already have $3.5 billion in staked assets. 1,100 applications. They're making it happen. 1,100 applications in their build-to-earn program. I bring this up because, again, if you look at most of the stuff I'm talking about, they're either regulatory compliance related, they're all macro related, and a lot of it is very infrastructure based. I told you guys before, I'm looking for infrastructure moves. I'm looking for serious, infrastructure moves. Running VoIP? Nah. I don't have VoIP running right now. Not on this machine. And there's not enough going on. Like, you have to be on for it to actually be doing something, and it doesn't push that much bandwidth. That's not what it is. I seriously think it's the software, because none of my apps freeze. None of my apps are doing anything. I think it's the software. Oh, that's how you learned. I ran VoIP for Time Warner Cable. So yeah, I get it. So when you're looking at the big picture and you look at everything that's out there, infrastructure moves are going to make a big difference. Infrastructure moves are going to make a major difference. What else is going to wind up happening? You're going to wind up having, all of these macro events start to hit. So when I tell you commercial real estate has a problem, when I tell you that there's $500 billion, over $500 billion in unrealized losses floating around the banking system, that's another shoe that's going to drop. When I tell you all of these things, it's because down the road, all of those shoes are going to drop. And it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. Remember what the Fed is hoping for. The Fed is hoping for a cooler economy to help ease, inflation. What does that mean? Well, it really does mean a lot of people out of work. Because corporate America is not going to give up their profits, right? So that's kind of a big deal. This is why I tell you guys, because everybody can see big headlines, but they're not paying attention to the stuff that's in the undercurrent. And it's that stuff in the undercurrent that can really mess you up. That's really a big deal that you need to pay attention to. So what other questions do we have before I let you guys go? We've been on for more than just a little bit. Even with the break, we've been on for more than just a little bit. So far, the voting is 11 votes. 45% were able to take advantage of the dip, and 55% were unable to take advantage of the dip. Of the people, well, actually, all of you, do you all have a dollar cost averaging strategy? Foster Travels, how are you? That's what I'm really wondering. And Prononymous Me, how's it going over there on the other side in the metaverse? VWDCS is buying on the dip. Foster, are you buying on the dip? Penner Dumlock, you're buying. So I have a question for you guys. What are you buying on the dip? Ooh. Oh, wow. Dan's got a mean question. Dan's question is, what will happen to the U.S. debt when and if currency crashes? It'll be a while. DCA and you bought Bitcoin. I'll come back to that in a second. Penner, let me ask you a question. When you have a DCA strategy, you're buying Bitcoin, that's great. But the question is, are you only buying Bitcoin, or are you paying attention also to more multiple upward potential from other coins? I would like to know that too. Banks crash first. Are banks going to crash? Let's talk about how banks can crash before I get back to the other question. Banks crash all the time. Banks crash all the time. You know, banks go out of business all the time. There are a lot of banks out there whose names you do not know that, you know, come and go, right? That happens all the time. But what we're talking about is a specific macro event that can crush some regional banks, even super regionals. And that's commercial real estate. They're all holding commercial real estate paper. There's a bank in Hawaii. I mean, you have tons of banks out there that are holding that, and that's going to be a problem. So are banks going to crash? William, how are you? Give me a moment. The thing that I see is that nobody's taken the time to redefine what you're supposed to expect from a bank. What happens at a bank? The banks themselves are caught on their heels. Why? Because they haven't figured it out either. Financial institutions in general, a lot of them haven't figured it out. Look at Visa and MasterCard. Oh, here's another, you know, crypto credit card. Clearly, they haven't figured it out. What do I need a crypto credit card for? It's because this store doesn't actually accept crypto, but you can use your crypto on this card that's tied to your crypto. They do the math and wind up paying that store the equivalent in fiat. Cute. That's not a crypto credit card. Shouldn't be a crypto credit card. There really shouldn't be. The idea of working from cash is a very good thing. Teach your kids how to work from cash. They'll be far better off. Others too. Yeah, but that's what I'm asking you, Penner. What are the others? I mean, come on. Share with the team. So banks will go, but I don't think the big banks will go because they have too many revenue streams. I think there's room for consolidation there. I keep looking at Wells Fargo, for instance. That's a bank that could get scooped up. In my humble opinion, they really could get scooped up. What are the banks going to do with all of the commercial real estate on their books? Yeah. There are too many ways for them to make money on commercial real estate, so they don't really want to give it up because there are so many ways to make money. The problem that's out there is nobody actually has to really be in an office. Certain jobs you need to be in an office for security reasons, but other jobs you don't need to be in the office. You work at a bank and you work on the design team. Why do I have to be in the office? That's not a job that needs to be in the office. You're a banker? Okay, you need to be in the office. You're a trader? Okay, you need to be in the office. But now let's think about that. There are different kinds of banks. Retail banks, commercial banks, investment banks. Investment banks are fine because that's how they make their money, investing. Other banks, who uses checks? What do you need to see a teller for that you can't do online? Not much. Not much. So they're carrying that dead weight. And then when they leave those spaces, that creates a commercial real estate problem. Not to mention how many of those banks are holding paper on skyscrapers in all the big cities that they don't really want to flip into places where people can live. Banks do have a problem, and they haven't figured it out yet. That $517 billion in friggin' unrealized losses, $500 billion. $500 billion in unrealized losses. At some point, those losses will be realized. So that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a major problem. Dan is asking, okay, keep diving regarding the Fed debt held by other countries. Here's the problem. Yeah, the federal government's debt held by other countries is not as big as a deal as other countries with their debt and their, excuse my language, piss poor economies. Penner says, ETH, Sol, VeChain. I love you just for that. I love VeChain. Stacks, I need more. Not sure what to do. Like Stacks. I do like Stacks. I wasn't able to get any Stacks before, but I made some moves where now I'd be able to get my hands on Stacks, like directly. So I might do that, but I don't know. There's so many. I make a list of coins and I look to see how far they are from their all-time highs. Do I believe that they'll make those all-time highs, which will tell me what my X will be, 10X, 2X, 1X. What my X will be, right? What that multiple will be. And that's how I look at how much money I want. And I kind of go, okay, I want to be here, 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 and here, because these coins are only meant for money. These coins are meant for hodling for the future. And even then, I separate out Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a totally different animal. Bitcoin is not going to be used for everyday transactions. It's just not. It's going to be used for leverage. Straight up, that's what I'm thinking. If the U.S. defaults on all our offshore debt, what happens? War. I know I say it so flippantly, but yeah, war. That's what it'll wind up being. Hate to put it like that, but most wars are fought because of money. But then again, debt could be forgiven because some of those places, well, they ain't got no money either, and they need the protection. So I was looking at, how Europe voted, and I'm looking at all that. Hello, Style by Life. How are you? I'm looking at what they did and how they did it. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, well, but who's going to protect you? Some countries, we might have to, if we can't depend on the U.S., we might have to run to China. Really? Who are they protecting you from? Russia. Who's China in bed with? So yeah, I just think about that. The United States still has the best economy in the world by mistake, right? That's really what it is. It's by mistake. So how do we rectify that? It's a bigger problem than what people think. So now you know why I invest. I invest for my last name, not my first name. It's a very big deal. BRICS as a block, yes, they're all in bed together. And they're all trying to, throw stones at the United States. That's what's going on right now. Yet we still have the strongest economy. What makes us strong is our ability to innovate. Others get strong because they are able to copy and perhaps improve, but mostly copy. The United States is still the innovator of the world. I mean, don't get me wrong. Other countries, create things too, but a large portion of innovation comes from here. So that's a problem for people because we just think out of the box. We don't normally just think in the box. In, out, on top of, on side. We think about everything about that box. And why does it have to be squared off? Why can't it be a round box? Like we do shit like that. Excuse my language. Sorry. But yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, so if the fiat is in danger, should we use? Wait, what? We use VPN. You should always be using a VPN. Should always be using a VPN, and you should still have fiat at your fingertips, like in cash. Have a few bucks in the house. That's how I was raised. Got to have a few bucks in the house. Have to, must. BRICS has more people. Yeah. That doesn't mean anything. I don't need people to fight a war. Right? Facts. I don't need people to fight a war. So, if it's an economic war, we're already at war then. You think about that? Why do you think North Korea is able to do it? Because they're allowed to. Not by us. How many hack attacks have they done in hundreds of millions of dollars? Yeah, something to think about. So that's why I tell you, do the research that's there in front of you. I'm not worried about these huge problems that are out there. This is why you're supposed to stay fit, right? Mind, body, soul, then your pocketbooks, right? That's how it works. That's your best bet. So right now I do all my research so I can live for my last name and not have to worry about my first name. Me, I'm an old man. It's not a big deal. But my kids, my kids' kids, my kids' 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 kids, I want to have them be able to start from a higher position than I started. That's my job. And I accept it happily. So I do all of this research so I can do that. I also have to set up a couple of wallets. Kids are like, hey, I need wallets. Because they're learning, they're watched. The kids watch when you think they're not watching. They're paying more attention than you think they are. Some of these kids are way smarter than the existing people in power. This is why we do it. Right? This is why we do it. Anyway, everybody, I've kept you on here for long enough. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, my Tunkies. You got the book. I see you. I see you, Dan. You got the book. How did you get the book so fast? Literally just ordered the book like, what, 2 days ago? When the book first came out, it took me 3 weeks to get the book. I'm the author. It took me 3 weeks. Not even funny. Lisa Lynn, thank you very much. VW, my pleasure. Everybody have a great night. Have a great day. If you have questions, show up tomorrow with your questions and we'll dig in again. Now remember, it's good. Become a member on YouTube. Why? Because I do lives, but like this live is really only supposed to be for members. And at some point when we make the switch, it will be back to being only members again. So you're going to want, if you want to be on here, if you like this, become a member. Bianca, I see you. I see you. That's right. Hit the likes. Bianca says hit the likes. Yes, please hit the likes. Everybody have a good night. ZJ on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.